Hey guys, it's Ben Brown here, and it's great to be here for Macca's Chat to a Champion. Thanks for the question, Dylan. I suppose the greatest achievement for me so far is getting through my first final series at North Melbourne. That was probably the best feeling I've had, was getting past Essendon in the elimination final in 2014, and that was only my 9th game of football at that stage, and then we beat Geelong and obviously made the prelim final and came up a bit short, but I suppose that's the greatest achievement, is to do well in finals with the team. Thanks very much for that, Sally Ann, and Lilith as well. Look, it's great that Lilith wants to get involved with footy, and I'm doing a lot of work with the women's footy that we've got here at North Melbourne through Melbourne Uni Footy Club, and also next year hopefully with the AFLW team when they come in. We've had some really exciting news too, with Emma Carney just signed to our team, so that's all really exciting. But for little kids coming in, I suppose just try and have fun, because obviously it's going to be difficult if you get to an AFL club and you're not enjoying yourself and you're not having fun. It's going to be a tough job, just like for anyone else doing any other type of job. It's really important to have fun. So if you're young, get along, try out, and just have as much fun as you can out there. Thanks for that one, Greg. It's not included in the listed height. They must have squished it down when they did it, I think. Thanks for that one, Ashka. Yeah, I'd definitely think about moving back to Tassie. I feel like it's part of what I was growing up, and being a Devonport boy growing up, and now my family's in Hobart. Obviously, a fair bit of my life is there, but I also love life in Melbourne. So I suppose it depends where life takes me. Good question, Brendan. I suppose it was just something that came up as I was progressing through, playing junior footy. I don't think I quite had as long of a run-up as I do now when I was a really young kid, but I think it just developed over time into something that I was really comfortable doing. And I suppose coming over from the Tassie State League over to play for Werribee was where I really started to fine-tune it. I had Keenan Reynolds as a forward, and he used to be a great forward when he was playing, and then when I first got to North Melbourne, Shane Watson was my forwards coach at the time, and I suppose refined it a little bit further. So, and that's pretty much how it's been ever since I got to AFL level. So, for me, it works for me, but I probably wouldn't tell the kids out there to try it out. Thanks, Paul and Brianna as well. I suppose I got the number 50. It was my first number that I got when I got to a football club in Tasmania. So I walked into the Devonport Football Club. I'd never played club football before grade 11, and was playing basketball at the time. So I'd had a lot of my pre-season. I hadn't actually been around the club because I've been playing basketball. And I walked into the club, and the first thing they obviously did was to try and fit a jumper in, but all of the numbers in my size had been taken, and the only one left was the number 50. So I kept that one, played with that at Devonport, and did the same at Glenorchy Football Club. Moved over to Werribee, got it as well, and when I got to North Melbourne, it just stuck as well. And I think I suppose I thought wherever I go and wherever I play footy, no one will ever want the number 50, so I won't have to fight for it. So that was one reason I kept it. Thanks, Sean. It's a really good question. I suppose the main thing is that kids, as they're growing up, just try kicking on both feet. And I think when you're a young kid, you're worried about hitting all your targets at training and those kind of things, and not looking like a bit of a fool. But you've got to try on both feet if you want to get better. And that might mean that you miss a few kicks here and there, but you'll thank yourself for it when you get older, and you make yourself a more valuable player if you can kick on both sides of your body. So it's definitely something that I started at late, trying to kick on my left foot, and as such I'm not an awesome kick on my left. I'd like to be better, but it's something I'm trying to improve on every week at training as well. Thanks for that one, Denham. I suppose it was tough for me when I was coming through as a 17-year-old and did my ACL in my knee, and I'd started to play some decent football for Tassie and thought that I might be a chance to make it to the next level, but you know, I suppose that was the thing that spurred me on, was that I felt like I was close and I felt like I could match it with some of the players who were being drafted. But obviously a few injuries kept me back, and also probably, you know, I was a pretty skinny young kid at that stage, so I was a bit of a project player, I suppose, which, you know, makes it difficult for a club to take a punt on you. And being from Tasmania as well, I suppose I had to try and put my hand up, you know, through the state leagues and the Tassie Mariners as well. And I probably hadn't had the body of work behind me at that stage, but I decided to put my head down, and eventually in 2013 moved to Werribee Footy Club, which was a great move for me in the end, because I was able to learn my craft as a key forward, which I hadn't been able to do in Tasmania so much. So that was probably the main thing, was that I was able to move to Werribee and play under, you know, Daniel Curry and Majak were rucking at the time for Werribee a fair bit of the time. So it gave me a chance to work in as a key forward, which I suppose helped to turn me into a key forward, and now I am at AFL level as well. Thanks for that one, Victoria. Yeah, it's an interesting one. I get asked about protein a bit, and I've just gone vegan, and I'm also a celiac, so eat gluten-free as well. But I eat a lot of different things, I suppose, for my protein levels. Things like nuts and seeds are really good, and also, I suppose, other protein sources like tofu, tempeh. I eat this great stuff called TVP, textured vegetable protein, which is, I suppose, once you cook it up, you can make it into a spaghetti bolognese or a mince or something like that. So there's a lot of different things which people probably haven't even heard of before, but those are the things I eat, and I obviously eat a lot of food. So I've got a power quite a tall figure. So yeah, eating lots of food helps too. Thanks everyone for all of your questions. Now, my favourite one was Victoria, who asked about my diet, the last little question there. So thanks to Macca's, Victoria, we're going to send you out a ball and I'm going to sign it. So thanks very much everyone for your questions. Cheers. And don't forget to make sure you head along to Blunston Arena to watch us play this Saturday night against Carlton. And of course, make sure you head to the Macca's Family Fun Zone for a lot of fun for the kids and the family. Cheers, guys.